Hello and welcome to the Sensual Being podcast with myself, your host, Jolene Whiting. I have been a pole dance teacher for nearly 20 years. I'm also a yoga instructor, and my favourite pastimes are connecting to my own sensuality, connecting with the world, and connecting with animals as well. In this podcast, you'll find new and inventive ways of how you see yourself, connecting yourself with others, and also how you see and view the world around you. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to elevate the power of your voice and your throat chakra, particularly through humming. Hello, sensual being, and welcome back. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today. Our subject today is a very important one. It's going to be all around our voice. And there are so many different angles that we could talk about here, from the witch hunts, setting boundaries, and things like that, and just generally speaking up for what we want and what we need in life. But sometimes we can talk about setting boundaries, but sometimes it's actually very hard to do when we don't have enough power of our voice. And I don't mean how loud you can shout. I mean basically having the guts to stand up for yourself. So things that are circulated around the voice mean a lot to me. And as you know from previous episodes, I never actually realized I needed to find my voice until I did in March 2023. And ever since then, it's been a wild ride of elevating my throat chakra and really working with myself on this. And it's not been an easy ride, but it has brought me so much joy. So if I can share any of that with you, then I will. Because one of the things that myself and a good friend of mine, Dee, have started doing is an event called One Voice. And that's what's led me on to do this podcast about it, because it's such an important gathering that we are hosting together. We've only done 2 so far. And after the first one, everybody was like, "You're doing that again, aren't you? When are you doing that again?" And because we've actually set that particular event as being a donation-based one, then we aren't doing it all the time. It's going to be like once every 2 or 3 months. And the reason why we've done it as donation-based is because we have actually stripped the event right back. It is literally just turning up and sitting in circle, a meditation at the start, a small meditation at the end, just to like bring ourselves into the space, into our bodies. But the essence of that event is literally just singing chants. That is all it is. Sometimes we do Sanskrit ones, and most of them that we actually do predominantly for the session are all English chants. And it is the most exhilarating feeling of everybody bringing their energies together. And it's so hard to explain. It's one of those things that you need to be there. And we've made it donation based because we kind of feel that this is part, you hear people talk about the new earth and things like that. I mean, you could argue new earth, old earth, which is it? I'm not really sure. But either way, with this type of event, this type of gathering of bringing people together, particularly bringing women together, it's not women only, but it has been women only so far. And there's something incredibly powerful about that, particularly when we go into looking at like the witch hunts and how much the feminine have really been pushed down. So to bring women together to elevate our voices is just electric. But we don't want money to be the overriding factor to whether you come to this or not. So that's why we've made it donation based, because we just want to have a little pocket in the universe of something that people can just go to. And whether you pay or not isn't what it's about. Because to be honest, me and Dee just rock up with each other and do this anyway. And this is why we thought, well, why don't we just share it out? And if you've never done it before, the stereotypical thing I can give you is and we haven't actually done this, so what I'm about to say we haven't done, but I think what people think we do is sit around what could be a campfire and sing Kumbaya. And to be fair, I'd argue that that wouldn't go amiss, like at one voice. It is, I honestly, if you told me 5 years ago, you're going to not only be going to this event, you're going to be hosting it, I would just not have believed you. I honestly would not have believed you. But it is, if you get the chance to chant with friends, it's a bit like if you've been in yoga and you do like the oms at the start, particularly of Ashtanga yoga, they do that a lot. That is tip of the iceberg. Really is tip of the iceberg. It is. That doesn't even give you a chance to really experience what chanting is like. But you can with that chant. I've chanted Om for 15 minutes and I have been on cloud 9 at the end of it. And I wanted to really share with you something, a practice that you can start doing today. And it's very much centered around humming. So humming isn't the same as chanting. It is making noise, it's making vibration in your body, but it is something that's much more accessible to everybody because we even hum in conversation. Like saying yes to something and to something, but in a hum way. You keep your mouth closed. That is humming. So whether you've done it or not, I bet you have used this in conversation and not really thought about it in the way that I'm going to be giving you today. Because the good thing about humming is that the problem is if I say to you, I want you to sing, some of you might be okay with that. Some of you, probably a vast majority of you, might feel like I used to and think, oh God, no, sing, I can't sing. We are so judgmental when it comes to singing, but with humming, we are far less judgmental towards ourselves. It's a much easier noise to do. And by easier, I mean it's easier to go into the hum and get out of our head and into our body. Because the more we're thinking about it, judging it, what does it sound like or what does other people think, then the less we are getting from the actual hum, the more we are just staying in our minds, spiraling out of control about judgment towards ourselves or what other people think towards ourselves. And that's not getting any of us anywhere. But with the humming, you can get to more of a point of less judgment or no judgment much, much easier. And it really is very inward. And when we do this in yoga, it's actually called humming bee breath. But when we do it in yoga, you actually cover your eyes and put your fingers over your ears. Not in your ears, just to close them. And when you do the hum then, it is so much in your body. You think everybody down the street can hear you because it is so loud within you. But it isn't any different of volume as if you didn't have your fingers in your ears and your hands off your eyes. So however you choose to do what I give you today, if you wanted to do it as humming bee breath, it just means you close down your ears and your eyes. But you can do this with just doing the hums without closing off, because some of you actually might not want to close down the senses. If you have been through trauma in your life and the idea of close your eyes for this, you're like, oh God, no. And then to close your ears off, you're like, oh my God, I feel very vulnerable. Then do not do that. You can still do the hum. And this is very important in any meditative type of activity that you are taking part in. If they say close your eyes and you're not happy with that, do not do it. Do not do it. Because what you can do is you can just look down. And you can sort of unfocus your eyes and not really try and look all around the room, but just look down. And that can be enough to put you in a meditative state. And that is more important than actually closing your eyes if you don't want to. And that's, you must take that away with you today, because it's so, so important, that one. But yeah, so with humming, if you wanted to use this as some sort of a practice, I would suggest either just humming for 5 minutes and then being silent for 5 minutes. So all you're going to do is literally breathe in, and as you breathe out, keep your mouth closed and hum. And you just repeat that. Now, what you'll find will happen is that the chances are you're going to feel a lot more relaxed afterwards. And the reason why I say sit in silence afterwards as well. So if you can do 5 minutes of humming, 5 minutes of silence, 3 minutes of humming or 3 minutes of silence, it doesn't matter. Just try and do something. And if the time-wise you feel like you don't have time, that's okay. Just do 3 hums and then take 3 deep breaths afterwards. That will still help to regulate your nervous system. You will still get benefits from that. And to be able to sit in silence afterwards, even just for a short time, you can actually feel how your body is feeling and responding to what you've just done. Rather than just humming and getting up and going, you can feel your body vibrating. You can feel areas of your body that you didn't before. And you can also send the humming. If you've got areas of your body that's an issue, you can send the energy of the humming into your body. And you can do this with chanting as well. But for the purpose of today, we're really just talking mainly for this about the humming. And you can really envision the humming and the vibration going to that particular area in your body to help you. And also with this, you find you can feel very calm afterwards, because it's very hard for your mind to think about stuff. So if you're somebody whose mind races away 24/7, you are completely normal, because this is what brains do. So to be able to find ways to actually regulate thoughts can be an absolute godsend in our lives. And it's funny because even you see this with people, like people hum. Loads of people hum. Sometimes they do it and they don't even know they're doing it. And children can do this. So if children are feeling stressed or they're concentrating, sometimes they can hum. They don't even know they're doing it. And the beauty is no one's ever told them, if you hum, then your thoughts will be much more channeled or you'll be more focused. They just do it. It's like something that we are born with and we know, but we somehow forget, or we're told to be quiet as we go up. I mean, imagine doing an exam at school and humming. I'm pretty sure I'd get told off for doing that. So we are taught in our life to be quiet, but actually sometimes sound can actually make us more peaceful, because sometimes just silence can be really tough for people. And it's really interesting. I would love to take this challenge. I saw it somewhere that there's a room somewhere, and I can't remember where it is now whilst I'm talking to you, but there's a room somewhere which is deemed the quietest room in the world, and people can't be in there for very long. And to me, in my head, I think, I'd love to go in that room. I don't know how I'd react. Maybe I wouldn't react very well. I honestly don't know. But I'm very intrigued by it. But apparently a lot of people can't be in this room. And it fascinates me, the fact that we can't be in silence. And this is so common. So the fact that by creating noise will help quieten the internal noise, I think is just an absolute blessing. And what you can find, the science behind humming particularly, is that you get increased oxygen into the body, you get a lowered heart rate and lower blood pressure, the release of melatonin into your body, so that hormone is what helps you sleep, and get better sleep. So great to hum before bed, to really settle your system to go in to a deeper sleep, and for hopefully longer too. You also release endorphins into your body, so you can feel good afterwards. This is why I say after chanting, I feel all like floaty and I feel quite high, because it releases endorphins into the body. And that is absolute magic. You get increased nitric oxide. And what this does is it enlarges the circulatory system in your body. So it makes all your vessels expand, which means that blood flow, nutrients, everything like that can make its way around your body better. So that kind of feeling of feeling like you're vibrating once you've done some humming or chanting, that feeling, I kind of wonder if that's more, I'm feeling all the blood circulating around the body. And when we come back to the fact that the body is over 60% liquid, and we are putting that frequency into our body, literally into our state of being, we are actually changing the way our cells are responding to each other. It's a bit like when you take yourself out and do some barefoot grounding. Your cells, if you ever look this up, you should, you'll see that there are pictures of cells before the person has gone grounding, and then after, and the before picture, all of these cells are all kind of like stuck together. They're all very, very close. And then after grounding, there's all this space around them. It's the same type of thing. So if you imagine this frequency going into your body with the humming, then that is changing how your cells are reacting. If you have the power to expand the vessels in your body so that your body can circulate and regulate itself better, then that is absolute magic in itself, and something that we should all be doing. So ever since March 2023, and I've been really exploring the act of my voice, it's led me on to different instruments as well. I love the drum, the shamanic drum, the shruti box and the sound bowl. Even if you just go for a sound bowl, that does so much for chanting, because it actually almost carries your voice. Shruti box is very similar to a harmonium. Both of them, the resonance carries your voice along and it makes your voice stronger. But at the end of the day, you don't need any equipment to be able to do any of this. You can literally just do this as you are. You are the main equipment. Your voice is the main equipment. And when you do anything like this, just try and get out of your head of what it sounds like. And you know what? Sometimes my voice is like, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. And other days it's like all over the place. But that's okay, because it's allowed to be. It's allowed to be. We are very caught up in how singers do things. And all of these talent shows, that very much judge people on their voice, is killing us. It's killing us. It's killing those people who are being judged for their artistic expression. It's killing everybody who thinks, oh God, if they're going to get judged like that, I'm worse than them. I can't sing, therefore I just won't. So you can see how there's been a lot of damage in our modern world to the voice, because we compare so harshly to other people. And the thing I love about the route that I've been going down with my voice is some of these chants, like we all come from the goddess, mother I feel you, all of these are so earthy, and they increase my connection to nature so much. It's like I'm singing with the earth. And that to me just feels absolutely divine. Absolutely divine. And sometimes I literally go out to trees and place my hands on the trees and sing to them, because it doesn't matter. They don't judge me, and they make me realize I don't have to judge myself either. Anything that can bring you into your highest joy, I think you should pursue it, because it's about how you feel when you do it. That's the number one thing. And with all of these like songs, I've even been creating some of my own, one of which I shared for the first time at the event One Voice recently, which was my song called Blood Goddess. And I sung the verses and everybody else came in and sung the chorus with me. And we had the drums going and it was so, so magical. And it made me think, this is why I haven't really embarked on singing until now, because this is what really lights me up. I imagine having like song circles with a mixture of chants and my own songs, but having everybody being a part of that, which is also why I really want to try and get better at guitar so that guitar can be a part of it too, because I just think that would actually be so, so good. But that's going to take time. But I'm getting there with the songs. I'm getting a few songs, which I'm just flabbergasted by. Because even a year ago, I didn't really write songs. This is how much your life can change. If there's something that you want to be playful with, curious about. And that's all this was. I was just being curious about it. And now I'm writing like full songs. I've had people singing my songs. This is huge. This is huge. It really, really is. So when I say chanting and humming, there are different sorts of chants. So humming, we know what that is now. A nice practice that you can take away with you today is what we just talked about. But chanting, there's so many different ways of doing it. So you've got Sanskrit chants, which can be much longer, but you just repeat them over and over again. So for an example of a Sanskrit chant, see if I can remember it now, you got Loka Samasta Sakuna Bhavantu. That particular chant, just done over and over and over again, it sends out, it's like it's a prayer that you are sending out into the universe for anybody who needs healing, energy, happiness. And that's what you're sending out when you do that. And this is why this stuff is so incredibly powerful. I've even done that chant before and sent it out. And then within an hour, one of the people that I was directing it to in my mind sent me a text to say hello. Yeah, magic, absolute magic. So you can't tell me that sending goodwill out into the world is a bad thing, because I will not accept it at all. And there's other Sanskrit chants as well. So you can send chants to areas of your chakra system. And you can do this at the same time as like visualizing the color of that chakra. For example, the root chakra, which is at the base of your body, basically in the middle of your body, the bottom of your torso. And the base color for that is red for your root. And the Sanskrit chant for that is just simply Lam, Lam. Lam. And that's it. And then you can move up. So if you feel unbalanced and ungrounded, you could just do Lam over and over and over again, visualizing the color red. And this goes all the way up through your sacral chakra, which is Vam, solar plexus, which is Ram, heart, which is Yam, throat, which is Ham, third eye chakra, which is Om, and your crown chakra, which is Ah. And you can go through the colors. If you're very visual, you'll probably enjoy visualizing the colors as you go through. But these can really help just balance your system. And it feels so yummy. But like I say, you could just do the root chakra over and over again. Or you could literally go Lam, and then Vam, and just go all the way through them. So there's other chants as well. So those are very much covering Sanskrit ones. And I told you that I've written a song. That's all in English, not in Sanskrit. So that is actually a song with verses and a chorus that everyone can join in on. And you've got a lot of Celtic chants, and there's chants from all over the world. I'm just giving you insight of what I have picked up over the last couple of years. But things like Mother I Feel, and I love songs which have got a heya element into it. I absolutely love that, because you can really just get into the feel and the vibe of the song. So the mother I feel is simply, Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. And that's it. And then it goes into hey-ya, 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 ho. And that's it. And you sing that with a group of people together, and it's incredibly powerful and so connected to Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, being held here by the earth herself. And it's such a grounding experience. And I think that's why I love it, because you can just really, really connect in to nature with a lot of these chants. And there's no harm with you coming up with your own. Maybe you already have, and you never really thought about it before. Maybe you thought, oh, I always sing this, that, and the other, and you never knew why. You know, it's so funny what we already do or we've already done, and yet we've not really thought about it as a thing, or we might think no one ever does that, no one wants to hear that, when actually there are people who are waiting to meet up with you to sing with you. Because chanting and singing in this way, and in any way, it's an expression. It's not about how you sound, how you look, how in time you are, what tone you've got. It's not about that. It's the elevation of your throat chakra. So a good thing to do before you start chanting is to like stretch your neck out, look up and down, open your mouth really wide and close it. And when you're doing the chanting as opposed to humming, really experiment with opening your mouth in different ways, and you will feel and hear the noise come out completely differently. And that, I think, is amazing in its own right, because sometimes if we're a bit cautious about singing, we kind of keep our mouth very closed, very small. And it's surprising how much more tone you can get with opening your mouth. It doesn't mean you have to shout it, but you can get so much more tone and range in your voice. That is definitely something to play with. And if you do like the idea of getting into more like chanting and singing and things like that, and you want a little bit of a percussion, an instrument, and you're not sure what to get, then a shaker, like a maraca. If you've got a maraca, that will work. That type of thing, that type of percussion will really elevate your energy when you're doing it. And it would just add to it. It would just add to it so, so much. So I really hope you've taken a lot from that today. If it's something that you've never been bothered about at all, you're not alone. Because a couple of years ago, I would have said that was me too. I'd have done the odd few oms in Ashtanga yoga, and that's probably the extent of it. But then there was that one day, that one yoga workshop that I went to that I had no idea that there was chanting. I just thought, oh, this looks like a nice thing to do. I like the host. She's very good. I trust her. And so I went along, and my mind has been blown ever since then. And if you are somebody who practices a lot of yoga, but you haven't really ever taken off with the chanting, I urge you to sit with it in different ways, even just the humming, because it really does add to the internal side of yoga. It really, really does. And even if you don't do yoga, definitely explore the humming, because again, game changer. Game changer. So let me know how you get on with it. If you are local and want to come to One Voice, get in touch, because you can definitely come. We had about 14 last week. It was absolutely amazing. And if you wanted to join as well, you'd be more than welcome. More than welcome. So enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, as always, to lead through your life with your heart and to live with intention. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please do share it with your friends and on social media. If you have the time to rate or review this podcast, I'd be ever so grateful. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Jolene Sensual Being. The links to my YouTube and to sign up to my mailing list will be in the show notes as well. I look forward to speaking with you again very soon.